Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. NBA Monday. Streak finally came to a close. I had 6 consecutive winning nights in the NBA. Had a losing Sunday. Went 1-3. The Heat ended up coming back and covering, but I also bet the money line. So streak comes to an end. Let's start another one up. There's actually a lot of games on the board here for this NBA Monday. But obviously I'm in the office by myself. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Well, actually, it's technically Monday now. It's almost 2 a.m. I wasn't going to make the guys come into work on Super Bowl Sunday after the game. That's crazy. So I picked out 3, and I already bet these. These aren't leans. These are 3 games that I like. So I'll go through these 3, and then we'll go through all of them on the live show. College basketball live show, 3 p.m. NBA live show, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully see you there. So yeah, I'm going through 3 games. Let's go.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
First up, San Antonio on the road up in Toronto. Raps laying 6 points at home here, and the total sitting at 234.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 3-point Raps win. Final score 115-112 Toronto. Injuries on the San Antonio side, nothing, nada. No injuries on the report for the Spurs. On the Toronto side, same exact story. No injuries on the Toronto side either. Betting trends for the Spurs, 1-6 against the spread in the last 7. Spurs have not been covering the number. Just 11-15 against the spread as road underdogs this year. The under's been cashing in San Antonio games. The under is 8-1 in the last 9 Spurs games. On the Toronto side, the trends are basically just as ugly. The Raps just 4-8 against the spread in their last 12. Just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 at home. On the season, they're 7-7 against the spread as home favorites. So let's match these 2 teams up on the court. And right off the bat, we got a quick mismatch here for the Spurs offense. Look at the rebounding numbers in the last 10 games. 3rd to 30th. San Antonio should have plenty of opportunities as far as second chance points. But look 1 row below that. Look at the turnover numbers. 30th to 9th. So I mean, I guess that's a break even there. Just 2 wild mismatches in either direction. Let's pull up the shot zones. And if we look at the interior scoring numbers, I think we can say this is an edge for the Spurs. Toronto, as we know, they've just been getting crushed down low. 23rd and 27th defensively at the basket in the last 10. Like I said, I guess we can call this a positive angle for the Spurs. I mean, San Antonio's been somewhat okay scoring on the interior recently. On the other side of the court, we got some good news for Toronto. Raps have been getting active on the offensive glass again now that Pirtle's back from injury. But the Spurs haven't been a terrible rebounding team defensively. They're 14th, so not that crazy of an edge here. Spurs also have the edge in the turnover department, same as the Raps do. And if we pull up the interior scoring on this side, we're kind of looking at the same type of matchup here. Toronto's taking most of their shots at the rim, 4th at frequency in the last 10 games. They haven't been hitting them. They've been wildly inefficient, but they have been taking them. Spurs have struggled defensively down low. Not quite as bad as Toronto, but pretty bad. So kind of the same exact mismatch on both sides here. As far as betting this game, I mean, on paper, these 2 teams are almost identical right now. So obviously, if one of them's getting 6.5 points, I'm going to take it. Give me the Spurs +6 next game. Chicago on the road in Atlanta here. Hawks are laying 4 points at home, and the total sitting at 236.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 2-point Atlanta win. Final score 120-118 Hawks. Injuries on the Chicago side. Caruso's questionable. That's big. We need to know if he's going to play. Kobe White probable. Torrey Craig probable. Patrick Williams is still out. On the Atlanta side, they're still missing Clint Capella, so Capella's going to miss another game. Wesley Matthews is still out as well. As far as betting this game, I'm sure you've heard Hawks have been covering the number. 6-1 against the spread in their last 7, and their only loss was against the Clippers. Honestly, they probably should have covered that game. I had Clippers -3.5. I watched the entire second half of that game. Felt like I was kind of lucky to get my cover. So the Hawks could very well be 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 right now. If we pull up the overall net efficiency numbers from the last 10 games, these 2 teams are kind of close. Hawks have the sizable edge offensively, but Bulls have the edge on defense. But look at strength of schedule. 24th to 2nd. So Atlanta has comparable efficiency numbers to the Bulls in the last 10 games, despite playing a much stronger schedule. And if we take a look at the shot zones here, look, we know this Hawks defense is absolutely terrible, but you want to know the only shot zones where Atlanta has decent defensive numbers in the last 10 games? The mid-range shot and the short mid-range shot. Just so happens to be where the Bulls love to take shots from. And keep in mind, this is a Bulls team that's coming off a heartbreaking overtime loss to the Magic on Saturday night. Then they have this game against the Hawks. Then after this, on Wednesday night, they're in Cleveland against the Cavs on ESPN. Division rivalry game, national TV game, one of the biggest games of the season for the Bulls. So I don't see any reason not to roll right back to the Hawks. They've been paying me out. Give me Atlanta -4 next game. Denver on the road in Milwaukee. Good game here. There's actually a bunch of good games. This is kind of a loaded NBA night this Monday. So Milwaukee catching 1.5 points at home, total sitting at 232.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, Bucks should win outright. Final score 115-113 Bucks. Injuries on the Denver side, Caldwell Pope is listed as questionable. Michael Porter Jr. is listed as questionable, so a couple key pieces there for the Nuggets on the report. On the Milwaukee side, we got a couple huge names on here, but they're both listed as probable. Damian Lillard and Giannis both listed as probable, so I'm assuming they're going to play. Chris Middleton is still out, though. Betting trends on the Denver side are pretty ugly looking. Nuggets are 10-17-1 against the spread on the road, the 27th most profitable road team in the NBA this year. So fading the Nuggets on the road has been very profitable. They're just 3-6-1 against the spread in their last 10. On the year, as road favorites, just 7-13-1 against the spread. But when we flip it over and look at trends on the Bucks side, they're pretty much just as ugly. Milwaukee just 20-32-1 on the season against the spread. That's 28th. One of the least profitable teams in the NBA this year, the Bucks. Just 5-16 against the spread in their last 21. 0-1 against the spread on the season as home underdogs. So let's start with overall net efficiency numbers in the last 10 games. And Milwaukee actually has stronger numbers across the board here, 21st to 13th in overall net efficiency, better offensively, better defensively. And look what happens when you scroll down and take a look at strength of schedule. Bucks have even played a stronger schedule than the Nuggets. So right off the bat, just judging by the basic overall efficiency numbers, heavy lean towards Milwaukee. These numbers indicate that the Bucks are going to start regressing to the mean. And if we pull up shot zones, Milwaukee defensively definitely has the huge edge at the basket here. In fact, the Nuggets scoring numbers at the rim are pretty bad looking in the last 10 games, 21st and 23rd. Bucks, despite their struggles, we know not everyone is huge on the Bucks defense, but it's better than you think. It's not quite that bad. And in fact, they're actually top 10 protecting the basket in the last 10 games. And check out the three-point shooting numbers on this side of the ball. Milwaukee's defense has the edge here as well. Look how bad Denver's three-point shooting has been in the last 10 games. Bottom 10 in every single category, frequency and efficiency. Not that the Bucks have been great defending the three ball, but still, numbers definitely give the edge to the Bucks in the last 10. The only positive-looking shot zone for Denver offensively in the last 10 games is mid-range shooting. The Nuggets have actually been taking a lot of those. They're second in mid-range, the long mid-range frequency. 11th and 16th in efficiency from those two zones, so they're doing a decent job of making them. This is definitely the weak spot for Milwaukee defensively in the last 10. So far, I think it's a pretty solid matchup for the Bucks. Now, when we flip it over to the other side, this is not the greatest matchup for Milwaukee's offense, though. Bucks really haven't been attacking the interior much at all. Look at the frequency numbers. Large majority of the Bucks shot attempts have come from the long mid-range or deeper. That's good news for the Nuggets because they've actually done a solid job defending jump shooters in the last 10 games. So at this point in the handicap, I was definitely leaning towards the Bucks, but I wasn't 100% there yet. But then we pull up the transition numbers. Bucks offense have been running a very efficient fast break this year, 4th in efficiency on the season. Denver doesn't want to play defense in transition. They're just 22nd in efficiency. Denver's been running one of the slowest paces in the NBA. Bucks are top 10 in pace. So if the Bucks offense pushes the tempo, gets out in transition, I think they'll give Denver problems. So as far as betting this game, I'm on Milwaukee. I actually already bet the Bucks. I got it at +1, but I actually think if you look around, you can find 1.5. So you could probably get a 1.5. I'm on the Bucks. This line was at 2. That's where it opened, so the market looks like it agrees with me. Give me Milwaukee. Like I said earlier, live shows tomorrow, 3 p.m. college basketball, 4 p.m. NBA. If you're able to make it, would love to see you in the comments. If you'd like my top bets for all sports parlays of the day or would like to join our Discord, head over to KyleKirms.com. The information's right there on the homepage. NBA Monday, loaded slate here. I know the All-Star break's right around the corner, but there's some good basketball on. Let's find our spots. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.